Thank you, Manisha, Priyanka, and the IES, including Mr. Yadav, who is the one who contacted me regarding this session. Well, the present lockdown is something that may be limiting many of you from your pursuits. The malls are closed, the cinema halls are closed, your social interaction is very much limited, play is limited, and sometimes I get a feedback that people are feeling bored and also insecure and depressed and so on and so forth. Uh, well, I guess the times are a little different, and but human beings are extremely adaptable creatures, and they can adapt to any kind of situation. Uh, the point is that despite all this lockdown, every time I come out, well, I see the clouds gathering the same old way. The heavens are thundering these days. You have downpours of rain. You have lovely sunsets during this time of the year. Beautiful sunrises if you happen to see one. Well, nature is in full glory. You see tall trees with their lovely leaves, just filling up the landscape. The earth is green, the birds are singing, the dogs are barking. So everything in the life is absolutely full all around. And so Corona, nevertheless, Corona is there, yet life is very much around us. All the colors of life are there for us to savor and enjoy. Well, I have been introduced, but let me add a little more about myself. I am 67 years old, maybe almost like the grandpapa of some of the youngsters here. I'm incidentally, I'm suffering from diabetes. I suffer from cardiovascular disease. I am a patient of blood pressure. I am a patient of prostatitis. I am a patient of cervical spondylitis. I am a patient of lumbago. I have an enlarged liver. So you name it, I have it all. I have osteoarthritis. So I have all the diseases. And yet, I am looking forward to every day with excitement. And as I was kind of introduced to you by your colleagues there, well, I play badminton 7 days a week. It's my passion. And of course, I was deprived of it for about 3 months. But thereafter, I'm back on the block with my racket every morning. Let me tell you how I begin my day, just to give you a feel of what you can do, despite all the handicaps that may be there in terms of lockdown, in terms of what's going on with our lives. Well, I get up at around 5 o'clock, 4:45 to be precise. I get up at 4:45. I make my tea, have my biscuits, do my jalneti. I don't know how many of you know how to do jalneti. I do my jalneti for my nose because I have a little bit of a nasal problem also. Then I have a little chat with friends, and then I do about half an hour of yoga. After I've done my yoga, I take my dog out for a walk. So I have an old Labrador with me, 14 years old, and I have to take her out every morning for a walk. So I take her out for a walk, and while I'm going for a walk, I also carry a garbage bag with me and a litter picker. A very smart litter picker is available on Amazon these days. So I carry this litter picker and pick all the garbage that is there on the streets, pick it up, put it in the municipal bin, and then I get back. Then I refresh myself with a banana, and off I am for the gym, where I do about 20 minutes of gymming, some freehand exercises, some press-ups, And then I'm ready for my badminton. I play about 5 games of badminton every day. And then I'm back with a hot bath, a lovely breakfast, and I'm set for the day. And so the day carries on. There's so much to do every day. Well, as Manisha mentioned, well, I love sketching. I do some sketching, some painting. I love to listen to music. I listen to a lot of music. I also love playing instruments. Oh, I have a whole lot of instruments, you won't believe it. I have a guitar, I have a violin, I have a flute, I have a trumpet, I have a harmonica. So I'm not a master of any of them, but I just doodle around with all of them and always try and improve a little bit on each of those instruments, right? And well, in the day, there is so much else to do. Well, I'm also on to the social media, mind you. So I visit the social media, sometimes put a picture or two here and there. I love photography, so I take a lot of photographs of the sunsets and the sunrises. And I love movies. I love all kinds of movies. And today, you can see all kinds of movies, right from 1925 movies. They are all available on YouTube. Perhaps you know that. So, right from movies to music to art to reading to writing, well, the whole day is full. So, let us try and understand now put what all I do, whatever I'm doing, into some sort of a little framework for you, right? Let's try and understand us and the world, because there is so much to do in life, in your day, and I would say not just life, but every day there is so much to do. And there is so little time. You know, every day I keep wondering, I wish I had more hours with me. People say they're bored. I say, what is boredom? I mean, I'm short of time all the time. I just don't have enough time to do the things that I have to do. And mind you, I'm locked in like you. I'm not socializing. Nobody is coming to our house. I'm not going to anybody's house except for the sports thing. That is about it. But there is so much to do. So let's try and place all this into a little bit of a framework. Okay. So Priyanka, can I have my first slide on? Priyanka, can I have my first slide on?
Yes, sir. She'll do it in a minute.
Right.
So while Priyanka puts on the slide, one question that just came to my mind, like the children might be thinking that how do they decide like what to choose out of all the many activities? How does one decide?
You see, Manisha, you just begin anywhere. You see, you just begin just about anywhere. Whatever you like, if you like films, start on the present set of films and then start exploring the world of films. It's a fascinating subject. You know, in universities, they have professors of cinema, people who study cinema. So anything that interests you, begin there. Once you begin there, you'll find that one after another, a whole lot of things will keep coming up. Oh, I need the slide that I had sent. This is a different slide that has come up. Priyanka? Yes. So, well, let's try and understand this simple slide. There is the world and there is us. There are a whole lot of sense data that is coming in from the world around us. And we have our sense organs by which all that data is being captured by our eyes, by our ears, by a sense of smell. All these sensations get converted into a perception, into an understanding, a cognition of what we experience. And that cognition on the one hand, now please let's stay with the previous slide. So on the one hand, whatever we get from the world outside is converted into concepts of a certain kind. an understanding of the world, and on the other hand, a kind of feeling and emotive response to whatever we experience is also there. And that perhaps is the aesthetic part of our existence. So there is the aesthetic part of our existence, the emotive, the emotional part of our existence, or let's call it the heart, and we've got the head on the other side. The head, of course, there is no heart and head, everything is just the head, but we all understand that when we say the heart, means it's the emotional content that is contained in whatever we keep experiencing. Now, once we do this kind of digestion of the world, we also act. And when we act, there are cognitive acts and there are aesthetic acts. Cognitive acts are normally the kinds that engage us in day-to-day life, where we work, we do things, all kinds of tasks that we have to complete. And there are the aesthetic ones that we savor and enjoy in a different form, in an emotive content, with an emotional content. Okay? So that seems to be the world, the way we interact and interface with the world. Priyanka, can we have the next slide? Okay, so as I said, on the one hand is that is involved with understanding, with knowledge and right conduct. Some call it the parent, right? The parent in us, which tells us, well, this is right, this is what you should do, and there is, which is based on knowledge and experience of the world, which is ethics. This is all a part of us which is engaged in, the search for truth and right conduct, and is something that takes us to our workplace, that engages us perhaps throughout the day. This is what we learn in school often. This is the nurturing part of our life. And on the other hand, there is the child in us. All of us have a child in us. The playful child, which is full of the heart, which is full of emotions, of love, sensual pleasures, beauty, and so on and so forth.
Yes, sir. I think sir has lost his connectivity. So while he reconnects, I hope all of you are enjoying. I love the part about the head being the parent and the heart being the child.
Are we back? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
I can see you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Manisha, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. It is, in fact, saying your internet connection is unstable, but it's okay. So what I was saying was that on the one hand, we have the head, on the other hand, we have the heart. On the one hand, we have work. On the other hand, we have home. On the one hand, we have nurturing. On the other hand, we have nature. And we have to maintain a balance between the two. So the work has to be there. The knowledge and everything that is required for our livelihood has to be there. And the natural part of us also remains with us. The third slide, Priyanka, can we have that? Priyanka, are we having third slide? Okay. So let's get on to the home and the personal life, leaving aside our work, our homeworks, our schoolworks, and so on and so forth. Let's look at the life at home. And since we are in a lockdown stage, most of us are in this kind of world. So at home, what do? We cope with demands from other folks in the family. We have to take some decisions. Of course, as children, perhaps we don't have to take too many, and we interact with our family members and so on and so forth. But we also have our personal space, and that is very, very important. And in our personal space, well, we've got all these things we could do. Movies, music, painting, photography, reading, writing, sports, whatever other hobbies we're talking about. right? So all these things are there. And as Manisha, you mentioned, well, you can just begin anywhere. You can begin by listening to music, but listen to music. Don't just get carried on by whatever is being, thrown at you from the media channels. Explore the world of music. Start from anywhere. You could start from Bollywood, but you could move from Bollywood to semi-classical music. From semi-classical music, you could move to classical Indian music. From Indian classical music, you could move to fusion music, which is a combination of, well, Indian music and, well, international music. As soon as you enter the field of international music, there are genres and genres to explore. So if you want to just listen to music, well, there is a beginning, and it can take you into a vast, huge ocean of music. Unimaginable ocean of music. It's just unimaginable. I'm still exploring the world of music. I'm exploring Chinese music. I'm exploring Korean music. Well, there is so much to explore. Are we doing that? I think many of us haven't even explored the world of jazz. How many people have listened to jazz? Well, they haven't. Why don't they listen to jazz? Have they listened to Western classical music? Well, no. Have you listened to heavy metal? I don't know how many have. So, there are all kinds of music. If you go into rock, there is psychedelic rock, there is acid rock, there is hard rock. There's so many kinds of rock. Well, you just begin at any point and you start exploring the world of music. If you want to explore the world of Hindi filmy music, well, you can go back to K.L. Sehgal and start with K.L. Sehgal and move upwards to today's singers. Are we exploring all that? Once we start exploring all that, we'll find that the world is so fascinating. It's just an example. The world is fascinating. There's so much going around all over the world. And if we miss that opportunity of exploring that world, I think we are missing a huge chunk of life. Well, having said all that, let me now come to something more fundamental. The point is, at the end of the day, what do we want? The whole game begins at what do people want? What do our young friends want? What do they want in life? I wish I could get an answer from them. Can somebody answer it? Nidhi? Would you answer that? I can see you. What do you want in life?
I'm sure she can. Yes, Nidhi?
What do you want in life?
I want to be happy. What do you want?
Yeah, that's it. Manisha, you've answered perhaps for all of them. You certainly answered for me. Well, most people would say, what do we want in life? Is happiness. We want to be happy, right? So, to be happy means what? What is happiness? How do you get happiness? How do you get happiness? Nidhi? Harsh? Zumra? How do we get happiness? How do people become happy?
Yes, Aditya has answered by playing sports and games.
Oh, you get happy
by doing makeup.
That is one part of it. That is one important part of it. Well, let me give you a little theory about happiness. Well, the theory of happiness basically is when your needs are satisfied, you're happy. When human needs are satisfied, then you're happy. What are human needs? Well, human needs can broadly be categorized into three kinds. There are what are called existence needs, roti, kapda, makan, bodily needs. Well, they are basic existence needs. So they got to be satisfied. If those are not satisfied, if you don't have a roof over your head, if you're feeling hot or cold, if your physical bodily needs are not satisfied, your safety needs are not satisfied, well, then you can't be happy. So, today we find that India is not a very happy country. There's a happiness index, worked out by a body organized by the United Nations. They work out a happiness index. So India is not considered a very, very happy country. And it's been sliding down over the years. So why is India not so happy? Perhaps the reason is that there's so much of poverty in India. So that takes away much of the happiness of Indians. Anyway, so existence needs is one part that needs to be satisfied for people to be happy. But I guess for most of you, your existence needs are satisfied. I don't say all your existence needs, not all your physical needs. You're all growing up, young people, so you have a whole lot of bodily needs which need to be satisfied, which perhaps are not being satisfied. After all, let me be, pretty okay with you. Well, you're all grown-up people. You have your bodily, sexual needs, which perhaps are not being fully satisfied, and that is one need perhaps that is a problem for youngsters these days in a state of lockdown. Well, the second category of needs is relationship needs. You can only be happy if you have a good set of relations with people. If you can relate well with people, that is when you are happy. If your interpersonal relations with others are not smooth and good, then perhaps you are not a happy person. So the whole business of ethics and psychology, etc., is to somehow give you ways of relating effectively with people so that you can love people and people can love you, and you can be friends with not only people, but with animals, with the natural kingdom. You can connect with the world around. If you can connect with the world around, well, that is one element of happiness that you can get. And finally, the third component of happiness perhaps is, or human needs is, growth. We all wish to grow. Grow means realizing the potential that all of us have. The potential could be in terms of the muscles that a youngster builds up. When you build up your muscles, there is a tremendous sense of satisfaction that, you're growing. You're realizing the potential of every muscle of your body. You can realize your potential playing a game. Every day I play badminton, I feel, look, I could do this stroke a little better. Every time I do yoga, I know I could improve on that a little more. Every time I do 30 push-ups, I say, look, I could do perhaps 40 push-ups. Of course, in the process, one of these days, I was picking up weights and doing some bench press, and I picked up a little more than I should have, and did bench presses with about 60 kgs, and I got a backache. And today I'm suffering actually from an acute back pain. So one's got to be careful when one's trying to grow. But the growth need is extremely important. And we can grow in every dimension. You can grow in your understanding of music. You can grow in terms of your playing of music. You can grow in terms of your knowledge, what knowledge you get. You can grow in terms of expressing your knowledge. The world is immense. There are infinite possibilities for you to grow. A human being is a small seed which has to grow into that huge oak, a huge tree with branches and leaves, and you got to see that you realize your potential through your life. So that, in fact, in psychology is also termed as self-actualization. When you actualize yourself, what you're capable of, you become that. That self-actualization is another very, very important component of being happy. So, well, this is a huge palette that you have, whole lot of things to do in life, your existence needs, your relationship needs, your growth needs. How can anybody be bored? There's no way. There's so much to do. There's so much to do. So, what do we do? What can we do? Well, we can do all these things. All these things that are available for us in our workplace, that is in school. Well, every subject that you pick up, well, there's tremendous scope in growing in that subject, learning more and more of that subject. Well, at 67, I feel completely ignorant about Everything. About everything. Hardly anything on which I can say, look, I know it here. There is no question. So there is so much around to explore and to learn about. And to do. Not only learn, but also so much to do. So life, I think, is a great, great opportunity. It's a great, tremendous opportunity. And you can just begin anywhere. So Manisha might say, where do I begin? Well, once I had this little exhibition in Bhopal and some of your students also came. And I said, look, how do you do this thing? I said, look, I just start from one corner, take a pen, a pencil, a piece of paper, start from one corner and start doodling around. Once you start doodling around, you'll find a whole lot of shapes coming in. Once you start seeing shapes there, how does a child start drawing? Well, he looks at the clouds, he sees a whole lot of shapes and forms, and he keeps doing all that stuff. I have a grandson who's five years old, and the whole day, he lives in Canada with my daughter. Whole day these days in the lockdown period, from morning to evening, he's busy producing hundreds of paintings. He just keeps drawing all the time. He's so busy. He's a busy man. 5-year-old, he's so damn busy making paintings the whole day long. So there is no end to what you can do. There's no end. So I think I'll stop here, and now gives me a whole lot of time to interact with all of you. So Manisha, is it okay to stop here?
Yes, sir, absolutely. I'm sure there are lots of questions.
Yeah, so, I think that's the interesting part.
Yeah, so before I ask Harsh to put up his, one question I would like to ask, like you said, the head is like a parent and the heart is like a child. So how do we get a judicious balance? What do you suggest, that how much of the percentage of our decision should go through our head and how many should go through the heart?
That's a very interesting one, Manisha, because the interesting part is that, there is a left brain and there is a right brain.
Yes.
You see, there is a left brain and there's a right brain. The left brain is supposed to be the logical part of ourselves, the mathematical part of ourselves, the rational part of ourselves. Whereas the right brain is more the irrational, emotive, creative part of ourselves. Some people are very left-brained people. They are very good scientists. They're extremely logical, rational. They go along that path. Some people are extremely right-brained. They just can't understand mathematics. Mathematics is beyond them. They're right-brained people. Extremely creative. They see things as pictures, as visuals. They see life in a very different way. So individuals are different. Some people are more heart-oriented. Some people are more head-oriented. Some people are more logical. Some people are more emotional, creative. So, we are configured a little differently, all of us. Now, the question is to first understand what kind of a person we are. I mean, we could have a heart and a head in equal balance also. In school days, I was basically a maths wizard. I was supposed to be a maths guy, mathematics guy. I was scoring 100% in mathematics and so on and so forth. By the time I reached college, and I was, it was very strange those days because we had no counseling or anything. When I had to go to college, I didn't know what to pick up in college. Like many of these youngsters would be wondering, what are we going to do after school? So those days, somebody said, look, you got good marks and things like that. Why don't you go for economics? We didn't have economics in school those days. So I said, okay. So I applied, went to Delhi, got myself admitted in Stephens, got into economics. After 2 years of economics and econometrics and a whole lot of mathematics and calculus involved there, I realized this was not the subject for me. I just wasn't interested in it. Of course, something else had happened also at that point in time. I had a bit of a love affair, and that love affair collapsed. My girl ditched me for a friend of mine, for the best friend of mine. So I went into extreme depression because my best friend stole my heart. So that landed me in extreme depression. Now, in that state of extreme depression, I suddenly became a great artist. I would spend the whole night drawing grotesque pictures, grotesque paintings. And I wouldn't even go for classes. I'd sleep through the whole night in that state of depression. I started reading a lot that time, trying to understand my mind, trying to understand myself, trying to deal with myself, my emotions. And suddenly I found that, look, I'm more inclined towards the arts. So after I'd finished my economics, I was done with mathematics and science. I said, now I want to really explore who I am, because, I had been through a bit of a trauma of kind. So I went into philosophy, started exploring philosophy. Having explored philosophy, I found, look, philosophy without politics can't really be understood. So I started exploring the world of politics. When I went into the world of politics, I soon realized that politics can't be understood unless you understand human nature. So I started picking up all kinds of books on psychology, read a whole lot of psychology. I wasn't interested in the IAS or anything of the sort. By that time, I'd met another girl who's my present wife. I fell in love with her. I said, look, let's get married. But I was doing nothing at all. I used to play the flute, play some guitar, do some painting, do nothing at all. I said, let's get married. I had no job. Those days, jobs were not easily available. They're not available now also. So she said, look, I like you and all, but how are we going to get married? You're not doing anything. So मैंने कहा क्या फर्क पड़ता है? You come and stay with us. My mom's got no problem. You stay with me. We live together. Now that'd be good life. She'll be willing to feed you also. She's feeding me. She'll feed you also. So she said, no, my parents are not going to agree. They're just not going to agree. You better start doing something. I had to do something. Now, what do I do? Those days, the jobs were not there. You perhaps wouldn't know that those days, the only job that was there were either you gave the civil services examination, or you get the bank examination, or you got into Tatas or something like that, or into tea estates and things like that. Very few jobs were available those days. Private sector hadn't really come up. So I sat and I said, let me give the UPSC. Let me give the UPSC. Let me also give the banks. I gave the State Bank of India exam and I failed. I gave the UPSC and I got into the IAS. So such is life, And I thought, look, now I got the job now, and now I'll get married. Yes, and that was true. Life is like that. As soon as I got into the job, well, my wife's parents agreed, and so I got married. So the job was just a means to get married, and I always thought that soon I'll leave the job and go ahead and do whatever I felt like doing. So anyway, that's a little part of my story. But coming back to your point about the head and the heart, so you don't know, how much of the heart is going to prevail on you at what point of time, how much of the head is going to prevail on you, how much of the time. But I guess everybody will sooner or later find that balance between the heart and the head, because both are there, and everybody, circumstances in some way or the other, help you find your heart and your head. But don't lose your head, as they say. Don't lose your head, because then you would have lost your marbles. So don't lose your marbles, and at the same time, keep your heart intact, and heart is very, very important. Yeah. Sorry, I spoke for
that
too
was
long.
An amazing story. I'm sure, like students, we have most of the high schoolers, so they are in this, doubt, kashmakash mein hai, what subject to choose. So I believe Aditya wanted to ask a question. So before we move to Harsh, Aditya, can we have your question?
Come on, Aditya.
It was about choice of subjects. He says
Aditya,
that he wants to become an IAS officer. So in order to have that, what he should do?
Oh, Abhi, it's too early, Aditya. Don't decide on the IAS officer that early. First, decide your next steps. What do you want to do after school? And do what you really feel like doing. Don't do what your parents tell you to do or what society tells you to do. Do what your heart tells you to do. Okay? Whatever you've liked by now, It's a very difficult question, to ask. What do you like, I don't know.
True.
I don't know what I like. But you got to
The
get
likes keep changing.
The likes keep changing. I still don't know. I'm still exploring what I like in life. It's a difficult question. So Aditya, but try and find out what it is that you feel you're good at, and you really like to do. So do that. If you can't make up your mind about what you do, then basically decide, do you want to be on the art side, or do you want to be on the science side, and some vague idea about where you wish to be. So if you've not been doing too well in maths, then don't, for heaven's sake, don't go into the science side if you've not been too good at maths. But even if you've been good at maths, think twice before you take up sciences. And then go in for a general course. Don't go in for a very specialized course. Explore, in Oxford and Cambridge, you got to do, if you're doing arts, you got to do 3 subjects. PPE, politics, philosophy, and economics. So you got to do 3-4 subjects. So you get a broader base, and then you can sort of, pick up something that you feel more interested in. So it's good to do a general course, broader general course. I believe the new education policy also is suggesting something like that,
yes, there is more flexibility now for the students.
I think so. By the time our youngsters are in college, there's going to be a little more flexibility about, picking up different kinds of courses and programs. And I think that's an intelligent thing to do. So don't think about the IAS right now. It's a good job, but it's a job like any other job. So I never pushed my children into the IAS, and they never were very, very fascinated by the IAS. My daughter is not in the IAS. My son's not in the IAS. They didn't even give the UPSC exams, and they're doing different kinds of things. So, well, don't get pressurized by the the so-called importance that the IAS officer gets in society. That's all bullshit. Okay. Because ultimately you got to be happy doing what you're doing, rather than just going for that fake bullshit. Okay.
Yes. Harsh,
other questions.
You?
Good evening, sir. Sir, my question was that how much time in a day we should spend on our hobbies and creativity? Because, sir, our parents often feel that we should invest or devote more time in academic.
Yeah, you see, parents are always concerned about your future and so on and so forth, and because the future is connected to your your work and so on and so forth. So parents you got to just understand that parents think that way, and give due regard to what your parents think, and balance it equally. You don't have to study more than, well, even for giving the UPSC, I never used to study more than 2-3 hours a day. तो 2-3 घंटे पढ़ लो बहुत है यार. नहीं, कहने का मतलब ये कि after your school starts, and then spending an hour or 2 with your studies is more than enough. The rest should be spent on your hobbies and interests. करना चाहिए. Hobbies and interests is what is going to sustain you through your life. That's what's going to keep you feeling good. I'm not saying that work should not make you feel good. Work can also make you feel very, very good. I have another interesting theory which I can pass on to you. You see, I say, first thing in the morning, or when you have food, there is something called an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. Okay? Then appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. So appetizer is what you do in the morning. Go for a run, do some exercise, do some yoga, do some weights, whatever you do in the morning. Get up in the morning. That's your appetizer. That's how you get the appetite for the day. Now, 9 to 5, or whatever your school timings or work timings are, that's the main course, main bhojan. That's where you're going to spend most of your time. Most of your life is going to be spent there, 9 to 5. So that's the main course. So pick up the main course and enjoy the main course. And the evenings, after the work is done, is dessert time, is sweet time. That's when you savor the sweet and enjoy your evenings. So you've got to, get that balance right. That there is, and by morning when I'm saying appetizer, is the physical part. Physical part is very, very important to life. You have to be physically fit. As they say, physical fitness, mental fitness, and spiritual fitness. You got to be fit on all three dimensions. You got to be physically fit. And today I find and I feel very concerned about youngsters. Youngsters are so absorbed with their, cell phones that I don't find people really exercising and being physically fit. They're not spending enough time on their bodies. Well, after all, bodies is the hardware within which everything resides. So you cannot let your hardware collapse. So please focus in the morning on your body. Spend the day on your work, whatever it be, and spend the evening on the other side, the softer side of life, the more pleasurable side of life. Spend that on that. And when they say, spiritual fitness means simply that be spirited all the time. That the spark in you should never go down. जो आपकी law है ना, वो कभी भी नीचे नहीं उठनी चाहिए. मुरझाना नहीं चाहिए जिंदगी में. Always be spirited. Be full of life. Now that's what's important. So if you're full of life, that means if you're full of that energy in you, then you do all the things. You'll do your morning body fitness also, you'll do your work fitness also, and you'll do your, pleasures of the evening also. All the aesthetic things, all your hobbies and interests, you'll be able to do all that. Of course, you'll feel that but time come hai, but that's okay. You got lots and lots of years to plan it out and you'll be able to do everything.
That was a unique definition of spirituality.
Oh, my spirituality is simply this. Be spirited and you're spiritual. That's it. Otherwise, I'm an atheist, by the way. Just for the knowledge of all of you. I've been an atheist from the age of 10. When I went to school, I suddenly said, well, where is God? What is God? So I started questioning. And I just gave up the idea of God from that point onwards. My parents got extremely concerned. And they spoke to the headmaster. And they said, what's gone wrong with our son? He says there is no God. So the principal was a very, very wise guy. He said, don't worry, there are lots and lots of people like that. So don't worry. So for spirituality, I mean basically be spirited. Keep that spirit alive in you. Keep that energy alive in you. Don't lose that energy. That's it. So my definition of spirituality is pretty simple. I'm pretty far away from the mumbo jumbo of spiritual leaders and so on and so forth. I'm pretty far from all that. Yes.
Yes, Harsh?
Yes. Sir, also I wanted to ask, sir, that as you told that earlier you were having interest in maths and science. Then you took economics and then you went to philosophy. Sir, how we should build our interest in more and more activities and more subjects?
How do we?
Sir, build interest in more subjects and more activities.
How do we develop interest?
Yes, sir.
नहीं वो तो ऐसा है यार, देखो ये इंटरेस्ट तो तुम्हारा अपने आप ही आ जाएगा. एक बारी तुम एक सब्जेक्ट को एक्सप्लोर करने लगोगे ना, you will find that one leads to another and another leads to another. You see, all these subjects are just artificial categories that have been created. The world is only one. It's only a question of from which angle you are looking at that world. All the subjects ultimately are unified. It's only one world. It's just an interpretation of the world from different angles. So कहीं से भी उस खोज को शुरू कर दोगे, किसी भी डायरेक्शन से शुरू कर दोगे, you will find that one leads to the other, other leads to the other. Everything gets connected. Right? So that's the point. The point is everything gets connected. And sometimes what happens when you see the world from one point of view, suddenly you feel कि अरे यार मैं तो उस दिशा से तो देखा ही नहीं कभी भी दुनिया को, एक ही दिशा से देख रहा हूं. Let me see the world from another angle. So when you see it from another angle, you find the world is fascinating from another angle. And then a third angle comes up. And each of these angles are different disciplines that you study. They're all related. वो तो अब आर्टिफिशियली हमने वो सारे डिफरेंट ब्रांचेस क्रिएट कर दिए हुए हैं ना. अरे देखो सिंपल चीज मेरे से लो. If we are descended from the apes, are we descended from the apes? Darwinian evolution? Okay? Let's believe in the Darwinian evolution. So we are all apes. Okay? और जो एप है और जो जानवर है वो कोई स्कूल नहीं जाते हैं, वो कॉलेज नहीं जाते हैं, कुछ पढ़ते लिखते नहीं हैं, पर अपनी जिंदगी बड़ी अच्छे से जीते हैं. Where I stay in Dehradun. Oh, there are monkeys. There's so many monkeys all around here. They don't have to, pick up subjects to, find a job and then to get their existence needs. They just hop from tree to tree and get their khan peen, and they're happy doing all that. So their ERG needs are met very easily. So वो जो subjects हैं, ये तो man-made creation है for the complex, societies that we have created in, living in these complex societies. We need all these disciplines because everything has got so differentiated and, broken down into specialities that, everybody has to get into some speciality or the other. तो ये सब artificial है यार. Basically, remember, you're a monkey here. Okay. And be happy with the thought that you're a monkey and enjoy being a monkey. And that's why today they say, that they're a vegan. I've become a vegan now. You know what vegans are? Vegans are who eat food like the monkeys ate food. Because that is very good for my health. So for diabetes, what they say, the way to, turn around diabetes is to become a vegan. So you eat raw stuff, raw fruit, raw nuts. So be like a monkey. Okay. So I'm just sort of connecting the dots together. You see, life is like this. You just move from one thought to the other, from one thing to the other, from one subject to the other. Let the life flow and get connected. Don't be too conscious about यार मैं सारे subjects को कहता, अरे तुम सब कर लोगे, एक से शुरू करोगे सब तक पहुंच जाओगे. तो शुरू कर दो एक तरफ से. And don't hesitate and look at life more in a holistic sense as a complete thing. सब चीज में इंटरेस्ट होना चाहिए. किसमें नहीं इंटरेस्ट होना चाहिए? क्या फूल पत्ते में इंटरेस्ट नहीं होना चाहिए? क्या गार्डनिंग में इंटरेस्ट नहीं होना चाहिए? क्या नेचर में इंटरेस्ट नहीं होना चाहिए? अगर डॉग में इंटरेस्ट है तो जूलॉजी में इंटरेस्ट नहीं होना चाहिए. अरे हर एक चीज में इंटरेस्ट होगा. तुम्हें डॉक्टरी में भी इंटरेस्ट होगा, मेडिसिन में भी इंटरेस्ट होगा, हर एक चीज में इंटरेस्ट होना चाहिए ना. यू गॉट टू बी कंप्लीट मैन, या कंप्लीट ह्यूमन बीइंग्स. यू कांट बी जस्ट partial human beings. You got to be complete human beings. You got to do everything. थोड़ा सब कुछ करो. वही, that's what perhaps a balanced life is all about. Develop every aspect of your existence. You don't become very, unifunctional and only एक ही direction में सोच रहे हो, एक ही चीज का सोच रहे हो. Become complete the way you're supposed to be. एक तरफ से पढ़ोगे सब मिल जाएगा. और कोई टाइम होने वाला अभी है, अभी 3-4 मिनट.
They need to give up inhibitions, I think, sir, because mostly children do what comes easily to them. कि subject में marks आ गए तो यही ले लें. So, and then there is those inhibitions and doubts कि if we do something different, will we succeed or not? So how should they overcome those fears?
ये चक्कर है. You're absolutely right, Manisha. The problem is ये fears जो खाए जाते हैं ना, ये जो fears खाए जाते हैं यही मार देते हैं. पर एक चीज जरूर है. Supposing you find that you're just not able to do maths, या नहीं लगता maths में, दिल नहीं लगता, then perhaps you're not a left-brained creature. Then don't force yourself into that direction. Allow yourself to move in another direction, right? Because people are different. Don't go for an engineering exam just because your parents are saying so. Hey, you got to know, you got to understand, are you really, really able to do that kind of stuff? If you're not, then you're perhaps a different kind of guy. So inhibitions are wrong, but to understand what it is that you are, inclined towards is, I think, important to recognize. Your inclinations, your heart, what your heart says, this is what I want to do, or which your mind says rather, heart and mind saying together, this is what I wish to do, this is what I like doing, this is what I can do, and this is what I can do effectively. I think that is what you should do. Sometimes that path may not be always, a very successful, parents' concern is कि भाई बेटा, आर्टिस्ट बन गया तो क्या कमाएगा, कैसे करेगा, अगर उसने फिलॉसफी कर ली तो क्या नौकरी मिलेगी. पेरेंट्स की कंसर्न बड़ी जेन्युइन होती है. Their concern is very genuine. They are worried about your future, your existence needs, So they don't want your existence needs to suffer, and therefore they keep on pushing you, etc. I also pushed my son कि यार मैथ्स जरूर कर लेना. मैथ्स को करोगे तो तुम्हारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज बहुत बढ़ जाएंगी. You'll be able to do all kinds of things. I pushed him. I had a big blunder on my part. Made a big mistake. He was not made the maths way. He just wasn't. So, kabhi hum parents, we push people, the kids the wrong way because we really don't understand. We look at society and society mein success kya hota hai. And let me just say a few words about success because that is very important. You see, unfortunately, आज के ज़माने में success किस चीज़ को बोल रहे हैं? Success बोल रहे हैं, भाई पैसा होना चाहिए, power होना चाहिए, कुछ fame होना चाहिए. Now, these are all wrong definitions of success, unfortunately. These are the craziest definitions of success. Success इससे नहीं मिलती, happiness इससे नहीं मिलेगी. Happiness ERG से ही मिलेगी. अपनी existence needs को meet कर लो, अपनी relationship needs को meet करो और अपने potential को realize करो. That is the definition of success. Because that's the first question I asked. What do you want? People say, I want to be happy. Now, to be happy, it has been found through all kinds of studies and everything. To be happy, well, you got to meet the human needs. And the human needs are not primarily those of money. Money is a drug. Money and power are simply drugs. There have been studies to show that money is more addictive than drugs. लोग पैसा कमाते रहते हैं, not that they need it. अरे चाहिए तो उतना ही होता है यार, उतनी रोटी खानी है, उतना ही कपड़ा पहनना है, उतना ही सब कुछ चाहिए होता है. वो तो एक हवस बन जाती है ना, हवस. It's just a kind of a drug, and your brain starts just wanting more and more and more and more and more. So वो जो wanting more and more है ना, वो नहीं है. That is not the way to happiness. Now happiness is success. So find your ways to happiness. I think that's what is important. I think my time is up, Manisha, or can we have another 5 minutes if you want?
So we can have another 5 minutes. Rohan had put up a question in the chat about individuality and conformism, like how to strike a balance between the two.
That's very close to me. Well, you see, well, I should basically say, be an individual, be who you are. That's the most important thing. Where is Rohan? You said Rohan asked this question?
Yes, sir.
I don't see Rohan.
Sir.
Rohan.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, Rohan Chauhan is here. Well, you see, you be yourself here.
Yes, sir.
Just be yourself. Find yourself, be yourself. Conform किस चीज पे करना है? वो तो भेड़चाल होती है ना. Conformism is bhedcha. You got to be an individual. You got to be yourself. You got to be different. I mean, you got to be who you are. So don't be afraid of being who you are. I think that's what is very, very important. And at the same time, let me put a little caveat to that. At the same time, you are living in an environment. You're living in society. So there are limits drawn by society, limits drawn by laws, limits drawn by what can be done and what cannot be done. So we have to follow the traffic rules. We have to follow the rules set by society. And within those rules set by society, you have to get your freedom back. You have to claim your freedom. You know, to claim your freedom is the most important thing in life. You know, the Indian Constitution, the preamble to the Indian Constitution, what does it guarantee? Freedom, equality, and justice. 3 things.
Yes.
Freedom, equality, and justice. And they're all linked to each other. Because you can only be free if the world is equal. Otherwise, you cannot be free. Only some can be free, the others won't be free. And therefore, equality is linked to the idea of freedom. And justice is, of course, linked to the very idea of equality. So the point is, aim is to maximize your freedom within the constraints placed by society in terms of laws and rules, etc., which you have to follow. I mean, you can't break laws, because if you break laws, they just lock you up and put you into jail. So don't break the rules. Don't do that. If you do it in school, they'll probably throw you out of school. Of course, Manisha will be very kind. She may not throw you out of school. But if you break rules, they will perhaps throw you out of school. So you will have to face punishment unnecessarily. So avoid that unnecessary punishment. And at the same time, maximize your liberty and your freedom Because it's only through your liberty and your freedom that you'll be able to really, what I was calling the colors of life, you'll only be able to enjoy the colors of life if you are feeling free. If you are caged, then you can't enjoy it. So don't have your mind caged. Let your mind fly here and there, but be careful about what you do in life, because if you cross the line, they'll just lock you up. Okay? Okay, Rohan,
Yes,
have
sir.
I answered your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good.
Any more questions, Harsh?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can just take one last question and then we'll wind up, right?
Sir, I wanted to ask that if we want to do some task with creativity, so sir, does it require more time to do that task?
Dekho, it's like, following the old path is certainly easier. रूटीन को फॉलो करना आसान होता है, नई चीज का आविष्कार करना मुश्किल होता है, थोड़ा सा उसमें टाइम लगता है, उसमें ट्रायल एंड एरर चलता है. टू बी क्रिएटिव in any sense is to be inventive. So to be inventive, you got to be a little more focused. Your heart has to be there in it. Whereas not to be creative and just to be repetitive is so much easier. और तुम्हें बता दिया ये करना है, तुम उसी तरह से वो 4 चीजें करते जाओगे, वो तो सरल है. It's easy job here. Whereas to be creative, your heart and your mind has to be completely focused. So थोड़ा सा उसमें ज़्यादा टाइम लगता है, I think. And that is why, unfortunately, we are not spending enough time on that creative part. क्योंकि उसमें थोड़ी मेहनत लगता है, टाइम लगता है. अगर तुम्हें अच्छा प्लेयर भी बनना है किसी गेम का, अरे टाइम तो स्पेंड करना पड़ेगा ना.
Yes, sir.
They say you become a good player of any game if you spend 10,000 hours on that game. Now 10,000 hours is a long, long time. You're not going to become a master of any game overnight ना. मेहनत तो लगेगी, तो टाइम तो स्पेंड करना पड़ेगा ना उसमें. तो यही है चक्कर. जो थोड़ा सा रेपिटेटिव सी चीज है उसको आदमी झट से पिकअप कर लेता है. इट्स अ मैकेनिकल प्रोसेस, सो यू कीप ऑन रिपीटिंग इट. दैट्स इट. डज दैट आंसर यू हर्ष?
Yes, sir.
तुम्हारा हो गया थोड़ा बहुत आंसर? चलो.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. That was very, very forthright and open. And I can see one of the teachers also said that we love your zest for life. So it's really inspiring all of us, especially in this lockdown, feeling confined. And even though we have stuff to do, and we do say that there is too much of work now, that there are no help and things like that, but still, somewhere in our hearts, we do feel that, we are not living life to the full. So
no. Manisha, let me just interrupt. I feel this is the greatest opportunity I've had, because now I have all the time with me,
Yes.
Otherwise, there are so many other pressures of, socializing and so on and so forth, and this thing and that thing. Now I find, look, I have all the time in the world with me. I can't move out. I don't move out. I just got here. All the time in the world is there with me, So I've felt fitter during this lockdown than I felt before it. Well, somebody can say I'm a bit of a crackpot, but well, maybe I am. I'm a bit of a, घर घुसड़ू उसको बोलते हैं. घर घुसड़ू में घर में मस्त है, अपने आप में मस्त है, तो अपनी धुन में रहता है. सो जो आदमी अपनी धुन में रहता है उसके लिए ठीक है. जो अपनी धुन में, जिसको my wife is a bit of an extrovert. She likes people. She must meet people. So she feels very frustrated with this existence. She can't meet people. I'm slightly different in that sense. I like people also, but I can be with myself. So I think this is a great opportunity for everybody to learn to be with yourselves and be happy with yourselves. And let me tell you, you can be very, very happy with yourself. It's great fun being with yourself and doing the things that you can do yourself. So thank you.